Stop! Don't touch that. Ethan's voice snapped as Maya's bag burst open on the marble steps, glass cracking under his shoe. One wrong move away from something breaking worse. She didn't argue, didn't rush, just crouched, slow, steady, while a small wooden box slid free and tipped toward the edge. Get out. Now. The door slammed behind him, echoing through the empty hall. Upstairs, the faint hum of his son still going, untouched, unseen. Maya rose, eyes on Ethan, voice quiet. Take care of him, please. Then she walked past. No fight. No tears. Just gone. The box stopped inches from the drop. Ethan stepped closer, frowned, and froze, because inside, there was something that should not exist in his house. How did she get that? Hey, if you're catching this late at night or just scrolling to unwind, you're right here with Black Maid Stories. Would you have walked away like she did? A maid leaving behind something that shakes a billionaire's control. That's not normal, not even close. And right now, he hasn't even picked it up yet. The box didn't fall. Ethan crouched, slow now, like the ground might shift under him. He didn't touch it right away, just stared. Then 2 fingers, careful, lifted the lid the rest of the way. Inside not jewelry, not money, paper, small cards, worn at the edges, each one covered in thick black lines, simple shapes, repeated again and again. He flipped one, a circle. Under it, one word. Safe. Another card. 2 hands drawn close together. Stay. His jaw tightened. Behind him, a soft thud echoed from upstairs. The humming had stopped. Ethan looked up. Silence now. He stood fast, the card still in his hand, and turned toward the staircase. Took 2 steps at a time, sharp, controlled. At the top, the hallway light flickered once. His son stood near the doorway, barefoot, still, not rocking, not pacing, just standing there, eyes fixed on Ethan's hand. On the cards. Ethan slowed. Go back to your room, he said, voice low. The boy didn't move, didn't blink. Ethan stepped closer, holding one card up without thinking. The one with the circle. Safe. The word sat heavy in the air. The boy's fingers twitched. A small movement. Almost nothing. Then his lips parted. A sound tried to come out. Caught. Broke. Ethan froze. The card slipped slightly in his grip. And for the first time, the silence between them didn't feel empty. Felt like something was about to happen. And he had no control over it. The house didn't change. Same polished floors. Same quiet air that felt too clean to touch. But something was off. Ethan stood at the top of the stairs, the card still in his hand, watching his son, waiting for him to drop his gaze, to turn, to go back to the room like always. He didn't. The boy stayed there, eyes locked on the card. Ethan exhaled once, sharp. Enough. He stepped forward and reached for his son's shoulder. The moment his hand made contact, the boy flinched, hard, pulled back like he'd been burned. Ethan's hand hung in the air, just there. A pause. Then footsteps behind him. Sir. Mrs. Keller stood at the end of the hallway, hands folded tight. She didn't come closer, never did unless called. He hasn't had breakfast, she added, eyes flicking to the boy, then back down. Ethan didn't look at her. Then feed him. A beat. He won't eat unless, I said feed him. Her lips pressed thin. She nodded once. Yes, sir. She moved past him slowly, careful not to brush his arm, and crouched a few feet from the boy, not too close. Hey there, she said softer now. Let's get something warm, okay? The boy didn't respond, didn't look at her. His eyes were still on Ethan's hand. On the card. Ethan noticed. His fingers tightened around it. You've been here 5 years, he said without turning. And you still can't get him to follow a simple instruction. Mrs. Keller didn't answer right away. He doesn't follow instructions, sir, she said finally. Quiet, flat. Ethan turned then, slow. And she does? He asked. Mrs. Keller hesitated, just for a second. That wasn't her job, she said. Silence. The kind that stretches too long. Ethan's jaw shifted. He looked back at his son, then down at the card again. Safe. His grip tightened until the paper bent. Downstairs, the front door creaked slightly in the wind, not fully closed. Ethan glanced toward the staircase, then back at the boy, then at the card. Something wasn't lining up, and for the first time, he didn't know who had been in control of this house. The boy didn't move. Mrs. Keller stayed crouched, waiting, then slowly reached into her apron pocket. She pulled out a folded napkin. Inside, 2 small crackers, plain, dry. She placed them on the floor between them. Just one, she said gently. That's all. No response. Ethan watched from the hallway, arms crossed, the card still in his hand. His eyes flicked once toward the stairs, then back. Stop doing that, he said. Mrs. Keller froze. Doing what, sir? Treating him like a stray. The words landed hard. Her hand hovered over the crackers, then slowly pulled back. Yes, sir. She started to stand. Wait. The voice didn't come from Ethan. Both of them turned. The boy had stepped forward. Just one step, barely a shift. His eyes were still locked on the card. Ethan didn't react at first. Then he held it up again, slightly higher this time. Go back to your room. The boy's breathing changed. Quick, shallow. Mrs. Keller took a step back instinctively. Sir, she whispered, almost a warning. Ethan ignored her. He stepped closer. Too close. The boy's hands curled into fists. Ethan raised the card again. Closer now. Almost in the boy's space. Safe, he said, slower, sharper. A beat. Then the boy reached out. Fast. Not for Ethan. For the card. His fingers grabbed the edge of it, tugged once, hard enough to bend it. Ethan didn't let go. Their hands stayed there, locked. For a second, neither moved. Then the boy pulled again. Stronger. Ethan's grip slipped. The card tore slightly down the middle. Mrs. Keller gasped under her breath. The boy froze. His eyes dropped to the tear, then flicked back up, wide now. His chest started rising faster. Too fast. Ethan saw it. Didn't step back. Didn't lower his voice. Let go. The boy didn't. His grip tightened again, desperate now. Let go. The shout hit like a crack. The boy flinched violently, stumbled back. His heel caught the edge of the rug. He went down hard. The sound echoed. Mrs. Keller rushed forward. Don't. Ethan snapped. She stopped mid-step, hands shaking. The boy curled inward on the floor, arms tight. Against his chest, breath breaking into sharp, uneven bursts. The torn card lay between them, half in his hand, half on the floor. Ethan stared down at it, then at his son. Then slowly he bent down, not to help, to take the card back. Mrs. Keller's voice came out low. Urgent. Sir, don't. Ethan didn't look at her. His fingers closed around the piece still in the boy's hand. He pulled. The boy resisted. Not strong, but enough. Enough to make it worse. The breathing turned into sound now low, strained, building. Ethan pulled again. Harder. The card ripped completely. The boy let out a sharp, broken cry, and then everything snapped. A scream tore through the hallway, raw, uncontrolled, echoing off every wall. Mrs. Keller moved without thinking this time, dropping to her knees beside him, but the moment her hand got close, he lashed out, hit her arm, hard. She recoiled, stunned. Ethan stepped back now. Finally. Too late. The boy's body shook on the floor, fists slamming against the wood, over and over. The sound of it loud, hollow, relentless. Ethan's eyes flicked to the torn card in his hand, then to the other half on the floor, then to the open front door downstairs, still slightly ajar, cold air drifting in. He stood there, frozen, because for the first time, he wasn't the one causing the damage. He was watching it unfold and had no idea how to stop it. The scream didn't stop. It tore through the house, sharp, uneven, echoing down the stairs. Mrs. Keller stayed frozen on her knees, one hand still midair, afraid to move it closer again. Sir, you need to step back. Ethan didn't answer. His eyes stayed locked on the boy thrashing on the floor, fists slamming, breath breaking apart. I said step back, she repeated louder now. Ethan exhaled once through his nose. He needs to learn control. Mrs. Keller turned her head slowly. He's not out of control. He's overwhelmed. Same thing. No, sir. It's not. Another slam. The boy's hand hit the wood harder this time. Skin already reddening. Mrs. Keller flinched. You're making it worse, she said. Ethan's jaw tightened. You've been here 5 years. And this is the result. She didn't answer right away. Downstairs, the front door creaked again. Still open. Cold air moved through the hallway. He wasn't like this with her, Mrs. Keller said quietly. Ethan's eyes snapped to her. Don't. He wasn't, she repeated. He didn't scream like this. Because she crossed boundaries. She helped him. She touched him without permission. He went to her. That's not your decision to make. Mrs. Keller pushed herself up slowly, keeping distance from the boy now, watching his movements carefully. He slept through the night for the first time in months, she said. You didn't notice. I noticed she was getting too comfortable. The boy's breathing spiked again. Faster, louder. Mrs. Keller took a small step sideways, lowering her voice. Eli, she said softly. I'm right here. The boy didn't respond, didn't hear her. His eyes were fixed on the torn card on the floor. One half in Ethan's hand. One half just out of reach. Ethan followed his gaze. Then slowly, he crouched again. Mrs. Keller saw it immediately. Sir, don't. Ethan ignored her. He reached down, picked up the other half of the card, held both pieces together. Safe. The word looked wrong now. Broken through the middle. Ethan glanced at his son. Then he did something deliberate. He held the card up, right in front of him. Look at it. Mrs. Keller's voice cut in sharp. Stop. Ethan didn't even turn. You want him calm? He said. Then he needs to follow direction. He needs space. He needs discipline. The boy's body jerked again. His hands covering his ears now, rocking harder, faster. Mrs. Keller stepped forward. This time she didn't stop herself. Give it to him. No, give it to him. He needs to ask for it. He can't. Then he doesn't get it. The words landed like a door slamming shut. The boy let out another sound. Higher now, strained, cracking into something raw. Mrs. Keller's hands trembled. You're punishing him for something he can't control. I'm correcting behavior. You're breaking him. Ethan stood up fast. Enough. The word echoed. Mrs. Keller stopped, but she didn't step back this time. He reached for you, she said, voice shaking now. Do you understand what that means? Ethan stared at her. He doesn't reach for anyone, she continued. Not me. Not therapists. Not. And yet here we are. Ethan cut in, gesturing sharply at the floor. Screaming. Hitting. Completely unstable. Because you took it from him. Because he doesn't get to decide terms in my house. The boy's movements started to lose rhythm now. More frantic. Less controlled. His breath hitched between each sound. Mrs. Keller turned, dropping back to her knees again. Slower this time. She didn't touch him. Didn't reach. Just stayed close. Eli, listen to me. Just breathe. Nothing. Her voice cracked slightly. Please. Ethan watched. Silent. Still holding the card. His grip tightened again, bending it further. Mrs. Keller saw it. Her eyes lifted. Sir. A warning. A plea. Ethan didn't move. Didn't blink. Just stood there, watching, holding the one thing the boy wanted, just out of reach. The scream broke again. Louder this time, sharper, tearing through the space between them. Mrs. Keller flinched hard. Her hands pressed to the floor. Give it to him, she whispered. Ethan didn't answer. The boy's body jolted forward suddenly. Reaching again. Fingers stretching toward the card. Not enough. Still too far. He collapsed back down, hard. The sound echoed. Silence followed for half a second. Then a low, choking sound. Different this time. Weaker. Mrs. Keller's head snapped up. Sir. Ethan's eyes narrowed. The boy's movements slowed. Not calm. Not controlled. Just slowing. Too fast. Mrs. Keller's voice rose. Fear now, clear and sharp. Ethan, give it to him. Ethan didn't move. Didn't step forward. Didn't lower his hand. He just stood there, staring, as the distance between him and his son stayed exactly the same. And for the first time, that distance felt like something that might not be crossed again. The hallway went quiet. Not empty, just quieter. The boy lay curled on the floor. His movements reduced to small, uneven twitches. His hands no longer hit the wood. They hovered, then dropped, then tried again, weaker each time. Mrs. Keller didn't speak. She stayed on her knees, a few inches away, her palms flat against the floor like she was holding herself in place. The overhead light flickered. Once, then steadied. Ethan stood near the wall now, still holding the card. Bent, torn, edges soft from his grip. He didn't look at it. His eyes stayed on his son. The sound in the room had changed. No more sharp screams, just breath. Thin, broken, dragging in, catching, then pushing out too fast. The open door downstairs let in a narrow line of cold air. It moved through the hallway slowly, brushing against the edge of the rug. The torn half of the card on the floor shifted slightly, then stopped. Mrs. Keller noticed. Her eyes flicked to it, then to Ethan, then back to the boy. She didn't move, didn't dare. Ethan's hand lowered a fraction. Not enough to offer, just less high. The boy's fingers twitched again. A small reach, not toward the floor this time, toward Ethan. Barely there. Ethan saw it. His jaw tightened. The space between them felt longer than the hallway itself. The boy's hand dropped again. His head turned slightly to the side. Breath catching harder now. Mrs. Keller leaned forward. Just a little. Eli. Soft. Careful. The boy didn't answer. Didn't move. Ethan stepped forward. One step. Then stopped. The card in his hand shifted. His fingers loosened just enough for it to slip, tilt, and begin to fall. The card slipped from Ethan's fingers, turned once in the air, then landed near the boy's hand. No one moved. The boy's fingers twitched. Then slow, uncertain, they reached. His hand brushed the edge of the card, paused, then closed over it. Tight. He pulled it to his chest. His breathing stuttered, still uneven, but something shifted. Not calm, just different. Mrs. Keller exhaled under her breath. Ethan didn't. He watched. The boy's other hand moved now, searching, feeling along the floor until it found the second half. He pressed both pieces together. Not perfect, crooked, but close enough. Safe. The word sat whole again. The boy's shoulders dropped a fraction. Ethan's eyes flicked between the card and his son's face. Then a sound. Small, strained, pushed out like it didn't belong there. Sa! The boy's lips trembled. Sa! Mrs. Keller froze. Ethan's head tilted barely. The boy tried again. His throat tightened. His fingers pressed harder into the card like it was holding him together. Fe. The word broke apart as it came out. But it came out. Silence followed. Heavy. Thick. Ethan didn't move. Didn't breathe. Mrs. Keller's hand rose slowly to her mouth. The boy blinked hard, then looked up. Not past Ethan. At him. Direct. Eyes wide. Locked. Ethan's fingers curled slightly at his side. The boy lifted the card, just a little, like he was showing it, or offering it, or asking. Ethan stepped closer without thinking. One step, then another. He crouched slower this time, not reaching, just lowering himself into the space. The boy didn't pull back, didn't flinch. His grip tightened again around the card, then loosened. Then he pushed it forward, toward Ethan. A clear motion, intentional. Ethan stared at it, didn't take it. The boy's hand stayed there waiting. Then his lips parted again. Another sound tried to form. M. It stuck. He swallowed. Tried again. Ethan's eyes sharpened. Mrs. Keller whispered, almost afraid to hear it. Eli? The boy pushed the card a little closer. The sound cracked. His breathing hitched again, but he didn't stop. Didn't look away. Ja. The name fell out soft, broken, but clear enough. Maya. Ethan froze. Completely. His face didn't change, but everything else did. His shoulders stilled. His breath held. His hand, midair, stopped. Mrs. Keller's eyes snapped to him. She taught him, she said quietly. Ethan didn't respond. The boy kept looking at him. Waiting. Still holding the card out. Ethan glanced down at it. Then back at his son. Then slow he reached out. Not to take it. To touch the edge. The boy didn't pull away. Didn't panic. Just watched. Ethan's fingers stayed there. Resting against the paper. Not taking. Not forcing. Paws stretched. Then Ethan looked past him. Toward the open doorway. Cold air still moving in. Maya was gone. His jaw tightened. He stood up fast this time. Too fast. The boy flinched slightly but didn't collapse. Didn't scream. Just held the card tighter. Ethan turned toward the stairs. Mrs. Keller stood quickly. Sir. He didn't answer. Didn't slow down. His steps were sharp now. Direct. Something had shifted. Not in the room. In him. Because the distance between him and his son was no longer the biggest problem in the house. The front door was still open. Cold air moved across the floor, slow and steady. Ethan stepped out without grabbing a coat. The gravel shifted under his shoes as he scanned the driveway, then the street. Empty. He moved faster. Down the path. Past the gate. Eyes searching. Maya. No answer. Just wind. He turned back once, toward the house, then kept going. At the corner, he stopped. Figure ahead. Walking. Not rushing. Maya. Same pace. Same straight line. Like she hadn't expected to be followed. Ethan slowed. Didn't call out again. He closed the distance quietly until he was a few steps behind her. Maya. She stopped this time. Didn't turn right away. A second passed. Then she faced him. No anger. No surprise. Just still. Ethan opened his mouth. Nothing came out. His hand lifted slightly, then dropped. Behind him, the house stood quiet. He looked back once, then reached into his pocket, pulled out the two torn halves of the card. He stepped forward, held them out, not pushing, just offering. Maya's eyes dropped to them. She didn't take them. Instead, she reached into her bag, pulled out a small roll of clear tape. Simple. She stepped closer. Close enough now that he could see the faint crease on her sleeve. The dust near the hem. She took the pieces from his hand. Lined them up. Pressed them together carefully. No rush. Her fingers smoothed the tape across the tier. Once. Twice. Then she held the card up. Checked it. Still. Whole again. She didn't give it back to him. Instead, she stepped past him. Heading toward the house. Ethan didn't move at first. Then he turned and followed. No words. They walked back the same path. The gate creaked open. The door still stood ajar. Inside, the air was warmer, but quiet. Upstairs, no sound. Maya moved ahead of him. Steady, familiar. She reached the top step, paused. Ethan stayed a few steps below. Watching. Waiting. She walked down the hallway. Slower now. Mrs. Keller stood by the wall, eyes wide, unsure. Maya gave her a small nod. Nothing more. Then she stepped into the room. The boy was still on the floor, curled slightly, card. Pieces gone from his hands. His eyes lifted the moment she entered. No hesitation. No fear. Maya knelt down, not too close. Just enough. She placed the repaired card gently on the floor between them. Safe. The boy stared at it, then at her. His breathing hitched once, then steadied. Slow. Maya didn't touch him, didn't speak again. She just stayed there, present. The boy shifted, inch by inch, until his fingers reached the card again. He picked it up, held it, then looked past her. At Ethan. No panique. No scream. Just looking. Ethan stood in the doorway. Still. Hands at his sides. He didn't step in. Didn't speak. He just watched. As the space between them finally stayed quiet. Morning light settled across the hallway, thin and pale against the floor. The door was closed now. No wind. Inside the room, the boy sat near the bed, legs tucked under him. The card rested in his hands, edges taped, slightly uneven. Safe. He traced the line of the tape with his finger. Slow. Careful. Across from him, Maya sat on the floor. Same distance. Same stillness. Her hands rested loosely in her lap. No movement. No sound. At the doorway, Ethan stood, not inside, not leaving. His jacket hung loose over his arm. Unworn. He watched. The boy looked up once. Then back at the card. Then up again. A pause. Then he lifted it just a little. Not offering. Just showing. Ethan didn't step forward. Didn't reach. He nodded once. Small. Barely there. Maya saw it. Said nothing. The boy lowered the card. Held it closer this time. Pressing it lightly against his chest. The light shifted slowly across the floor. Inching toward them. No one moved. But no one pulled away either. And the room stayed quiet. He stayed in the doorway. Not stepping closer, not walking away. Just choosing to be there. If you were in his place, seeing that small moment of trust after everything broke, would you move forward? Or stay back and risk losing it again? Tell me what you'd do. Quietly, honestly. I'd really want to hear your side of it.